All right, y'all. So I wanted to talk about this real quick. With all the conversation people have been having about Michael Jackson, I saw this pop up, and this was kind of interesting, y'all. So if you remember the song Billie Jean, one of Michael Jackson's biggest records, right? Billie Jean is an all-time favorite for a lot of people, one of my favorite records as well. We all know that there's a story behind Billie Jean, right? So Billie Jean is about a stalker that Michael Jackson actually had. And shout out to The Root. The Root posted this, right? And it says, was there a real Billie Jean? Here's what we actually know 40 years later, right? So it says it's been over 40 years since Michael Jackson dropped Billie Jean and changed the music landscape forever, but the legacy and impact are still felt today. Now that the song has found its way back into the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 chart, all these years later, Michael, still #1 at the box office, we've been thinking about how the iconic song came to be in the first place, right? And I don't know how people thought about this song when it first dropped, but I never really thought there was like a huge backstory to it. I just always thought it was like he dated and liked him or whatever, and she said she was pregnant. Michael Jackson's like, hee, nah, that's not my baby. Whore. I thought that's all it was, but turns out it's more to this, right? So it says there was never a real Billie Jean. The girl in the song is a composite of people my brothers have been plagued with over the years. It's gonna be interesting because you're gonna get into something after this, right? I could never understand how these girls could say they were carrying someone's child when it wasn't true, Jackson said at the time. Now it says, however, Jackson's biographer, J. Randy Taraborelli, would later return in 1991 to explain that the song actually did stem from a specific incident. According to multiple reports, the magic and the madness, the Baby Be Mine singer allegedly began receiving multiple letters from a woman claiming that he fathered a child with her 2 years before the song was released, despite the two having never met.
Oh, okay. Oh, you crazy.
I am.
The letters kept coming and began to take a negative toll on Jackson's mental health. Things finally reached a breaking point after the fan sent a package to his home that included a picture of her and a gun with instructions to kill himself at a certain time. What the man? This shit get crazy, man. This celebrity life sometimes, man, I'm telling y'all, it just don't be worth it, man. But it says, in return, she'd do the same to her and her alleged child so that they could all reunite in the next lifetime together. What the fuck? Crazy. Thankfully, the woman didn't go through with it, and Jackson later found out she had been sent to a psychiatric ward. Key moment there, psychiatric ward, because now we got to go into this interview, right? Because I ran across this, and it's Billie Jean, the person who's supposed to be Billie Jean's daughter. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Billie Jean's daughter finally breaks her silence, is what this says. So let's take a look at this.
This is one of the most recognizable rock songs of all time. Billie Jean's my love. What does the public know about your mom?
So this right here is the daughter of the woman who is supposedly Billie Jean. So listen to her tell her story. And just remember the psychiatric ward part, right? So let's remember that.
Google her. They would say that she's a stalker.
Levon Muhammad, who prefers to be known as Billie Jean Jackson, believes that she mothered Michael Jackson's children and that Michael asked her to marry him in 1985.
One time I bought groceries for Michael and he drove up and he said, "Oh, you're going to be my little wifey today." I said, "Yes." He said, "You're going to cook for me." I said, "Yes." He loves me dearly. Because Billie Jean is not my lover means that he's my lover.
She heard Billie Jean, and her interpretation of that was that he's denying Billie Jean because she's his lover, not Billie Jean. Okay. All right.
Billie Jean is currently serving 2.5 years in a Los Angeles County jail for violating a court order to stay away from Michael Jackson. She is charged with sending her doctor bills to Jackson and telling a Beverly Hills boutique to bill him for her wedding dress.
The public knows her as someone that
Jackson hit with paternity suit. Stalker of King Pop receives probation. Woman sues Michael Jackson for $1 billion. Michael Jackson saying Billie Jean is not my lover in his massive 1983 hit, but a woman who says she's Billie Jean Jackson claims otherwise. Crazy. Crazy. I mean, the thing is that there's people like this still doing stuff like this that you probably ain't heard about. But
probably terrorized the family a little bit, which is hard in my mind because I know her. They know her as someone who's mentally ill. She always told me that that's your dad. Mom struggled. I'm not exactly sure what was the catalyst. Like, why was Michael the one that she chose to fantasize about? I have voice recordings where she's cussing me out and telling me your problems are because Michael's mad at you. If you had treated his wife better, Michael would have been better to you. And I even brought letters that she wrote for me from prison. Home was Michael Jackson's address.
Actually put it on there.
Yeah.
Yo, she was writing letters and the home address, return address was Michael Jackson's house. My God. Crazy.
Yes. This is October 30th, 1995. And I would say she struggled with it all the way up until the day that she died.
You were raised by a single mom, but you also described foster care.
We left Chicago. She told us we're going home. She took us on Amtrak train, I'll never forget, from Illinois to California. And we had no money. We went from Amtrak station in Los Angeles up to Encino to Michael Jackson's house. And we lived outside, like in the dirt. The four of us.
You, your mom, and
the twins.
Which is a brother and a sister, and they're younger than you?
Yes.
Okay,
They're
so
6 years younger.
6 years younger. So you come out to California, first stop, go straight to Michael Jackson's house and start living out there?
We go to his house, and she proceeds to walk us in the gate.
Yo, this shit is crazy, man. I'm telling y'all, there's a lot of celebrities still dealing with shit like this. We literally just heard a story not too long ago about Chris Brown, right? Didn't Chris Brown have somebody that was actually inside of his house? This shit is insane. There's a lot of people like this, a lot of Billie Jeans.
Oh, wow.
Because for her, we're going home. We walk in the gate, and then all of the guards swarm us, and they knew who she was because she'd broken in before. And so we kind of set up camp in front of his gate outside, waiting for him to let us come home.
Okay, when you say set up camp.
Honestly, what I remember is like playing with snails. And I just remember us sitting there, and the twins were just kind of sitting on the ground, like on a blanket, and we were just waiting. And Mom kept trying to go to the gate.
Okay, wait. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna ask a question right quick. Serious question. Don't get mad. Does she kind of resemble Michael a little bit? What do y'all think? I'm gonna give y'all a minute to look at it, all right? All right? Just tell me, right? Just looking from this still shot right here. Is she giving y'all Michael Jackson potential daughter? Ask in the chat. I want the chat to tell me. Is it giving that for y'all? Y'all let me know in the comments. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments. I'm just asking. I'm not saying that is, I'm asking a question. Quick observation.
They kept trying to talk to someone, and then we would get hungry, and we would go to a restaurant, and she would order, and we wouldn't have enough money. They would feel sorry for us.
Yeah.
They would feed us. There were times where the gate would open, someone would come out, and they would give us money. Michael's mom came out one time and gave money. And because remember, he's Michael Jackson, so we weren't even the only ones out there.
Like dozens of people just in and out and crowds.
Yeah,
and
like
nonstop flow of just.
Yeah.
This is probably.
And then y'all got people out here saying they as big as Michael Jackson. Yeah, sure, buddy. Yeah, all right.
82, 83. At this point, you truly believe he's your dad. That's what you had been told. And at 7, of course, you believe what's told to you. What happened at the end of that 2 weeks?
We'd actually gotten lice really bad. And so she hailed this cab down. We were in the cab, and it was late at night, and the cab got a flat tire. And she asked the cab driver, can we sleep in the cab? And he said yes. And he let the four of us sleep in the back of his cab, and he slept in the front seat. And it was early in the morning. She tapped me and said, I'm going to go make a phone call. And I said, okay, sleepily, and then fell back asleep. That was the last time that we saw her outside of supervised visits. That was the catalyst for us to be permanently placed in foster care.
So when did you find out and discover that Michael Jackson was not your dad?
I don't think anyone ever told me. I do remember people going, is it possible? And I'm like, no. And I
mean, people would definitely ask if it's possible after some time, because after some time, you kind of gotta be like, is it possible? Because seeing somebody's mom go so hard to say that this guy's the father, but clearly they said she had some issues, mental issues, whatever the case is. But dragging your kids through all this is just wild, bro. I don't know. It's just insane.
I think because she was so convincing, because she was a court reporter. I mean, she kept meticulous records. And her story never, ever changed. We would go to mental institutions.
Wow.
And we would sit down with the doctors. And I will never forget, we were outside and she said, is it possible that this is true?
The psychiatrist said that.
And we were like, hey, no, it's not true. Are you sure? Because everything is like matching up. She didn't have the picture of what we picture as mental illness. It sounds awful, but it would have been easier if she was like the drooling, like all of these kind of things. She's helping the nurses station. Her hair is fabulous. Her skin was meticulous and she's articulate. So it was difficult for people, which is why they allowed her so many court cases.
Do you have any animosity towards the Jackson family or towards him?
Not an inkling. They didn't contribute to her illness. They weren't the reason for her delusion. There's no anger on my end. I'm sorry that that's who she was to them. That'd be terrifying.
Your mom died 2 years ago.
It was a pretty painful end because she died in a home and she wanted us to take her out. She didn't want to be there, but she was difficult and it was hard. She still blamed us and said that Michael was punishing us. So to me, it was a sad end. It was rough. But she knew that we loved her.
You did love your mom, didn't you?
Till the end, she basically kept up with that story. And that's why I feel like people would eventually be like, well, is there some truth to this? Because it's like she kept up with this for so long that people could literally sit back and start asking themselves like, damn, if her story not changing, she continuing to hold on to this, could this possibly be true? Now, all the sitting in front of his house, taking your kids camping out, that's crazy as hell. The way that we connect these two is because when we go back to the root story, right, it does say in return she would do the same to her and her alleged child, which is crazy to think about. If this woman is the same woman, this lady who is her daughter talking about this, I wonder if this part ever hits her, like if this is actually the same person. For her saying in return she'd do the same to her alleged child so that they could all reunite in the next lifetime together, that's crazy. And it said she didn't go through with it, and Jackson later found out she had been sent to a psychiatric ward. I don't know. But then again, with Michael Jackson, there's a whole bunch of women that it could be, because I'm sure this wasn't the only woman to claim that Michael Jackson was this or she was in a relationship with him or whatever the case. I'm pretty sure there was a whole bunch of women saying all types of crazy shit, man. But I just thought that was interesting. The legend, Michael Jackson, legendary, never another artist like him. I don't care what nobody say, because when you see shit like this is one story out of a million, bruh, stories of people going crazy for Michael Jackson. There's concerts where people are fainting outside from just seeing Michael Jackson. It's crazy. I remember seeing a video of a concert where Michael Jackson didn't even say a word yet on the microphone. The beat played and people was out there crying and fainting. It's crazy. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about it, man. What do y'all think about Billie Jean being an actual person? Maybe some of y'all already knew this, but I thought it was interesting to see the daughter of the supposed Billie Jean actually say something about it. And that's an interesting thing to see. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I don't know why y'all not subscribed. If you're not subscribed, you watching right now, I don't know what the fuck. What are you doing in here? I was about to call security, but I'm gonna let y'all slide. One more video, all right? I'll let y'all slide one more video. I'll get y'all on the next one. Next one, I'm bringing security in, and they gonna get all y'all asses, all right? So make sure you subscribe. Violate that like button for your boy. Y'all know the deal. It's your boy Goods, BigZoeTV. Let's go.
It's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that are really step, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on their ass. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I made them niggas mad. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I take the G-Pad. Yeah, watch a nigga do it. We survived outside, all from the music, nigga. What are we? They like, what he on? This is Alpha and Omega, bitch. Welcome home. This is not a song.